Hey, what's up, YouTube friends and family? It's Cousin Ryan, and I've got another 3D printed project here for you. It's the canister from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. Now, I say it's from that. It's more like it's inspired from that. It's not completely screen accurate, but I still think it's super cool, and this might be my most favorite 3D printed project that I've done so far. Let me just give you a quick little size comparison. This is the canister from NECA that they put out, a year or so ago, and there's the... You can kind of get a good idea of the size difference there. Anyway, yeah, so I 3D printed the caps and the label. The tube is a 3-inch clear acrylic tube that I got at a local plastic store. And I'm going to share with you guys today kind of the process of putting this together. Yeah, and filled it up with some slime, some dollar store, some Target slime. And I also added a little secret in here that I will show you coming up. You might even call it a secret of the ooze.
Shut up! You don't think Ryan is famous?
Cousin Ryan.
You gotta...
Okay, so let's get started. We got to fill this thing up with some slime. But before that, I just wanted to mention my sweet Ninja Turtle shirt here. I bought this at Hot Topic probably 2003-ish. This shirt's literally 17 years old, and it's held up amazingly. And it looks distressed, but it came that way, so it hasn't like worn anymore or anything. So I've never had a t-shirt last that long. Usually they come apart somewhere, and I've worn the heck out of this thing. Anyway, I love this shirt, and it's lasted forever. It's literally older than Ryder. Anyway, okay, so we've got our tube here. I did already glue this end cap on, and I will show you that process when we put the other end cap on. But I wanted to get that glue dried and everything. I did this a few days ago, so it should be solid and ready to go. And I have got a ton of different slimes here that we're going to fill this tube up with, this canister. Got some glow-in-the-dark slimes, got some more glow-in-the-dark slime, some other slime. And everything I have here, I will try my best to put down a link down in the description. A lot of this came from the Amazon. This slime came from the dollar store. And I'm even going to empty this tube out. I started making a canister out of a Voss water bottle, a glass one, a while back. Actually, a long time ago. This expired. The Voss water expired in 2017, so this bottle has been sitting with that slime in it for quite a while. Anyway, these came from Target, the Nickelodeon slime, another Amazon one, Amazon, and these were Amazon as well. So, all right, let's just let's load this thing up. This is the part I have been waiting for this whole time. Let's just drop that down in there. There we go. And we'll do a mix. We will go ahead and just take all kinds. I debated on trying to get one type of slime or doing a mixture, and I decided we'd go with a mixture, because why not? Let's make this fun. It'll probably all, end up being stuck together and mixing, and maybe it'll end up being a horrible green color eventually, but I'm already digging it. I'm already digging it. I love it. Let's get one. Let's do one of these. Whoop. Get it all in there. That's some sticky stuff right there. There we go. Let's do a couple of these glow-in-the-dark ones. Little eggs. Bloop. Go. I am going to, let's put this one in here too. This is the dollar store slime. That's a little bit yellow compared to the other ones, but that's okay. Like I said, we're going to get a whole mixture in here. Now, I don't know how easy this, I don't know that this is going to come out that easy, as I almost get my finger stuck in there. Boy. we might have to wait on that one. Let's just keep filling it up with all these others in the meantime. Got a little extra there. In fact, we might be able to do without that one. We've got so much here already. Yeah, I think we might even just do without this right here. And we can save that for another day, because I don't want this completely full, because as I had mentioned, there's going to be a secret to the ooze here. Boy, I think that just about does it. We'll dump this one in, and then we'll call it good. So the end caps, these end caps I have here, were designed by the Flux Capacitor 88 on Thingiverse, and they're pretty cool because they've got a little, I don't know, can you guys see that? There's a little, I don't know, I think it's Michelangelo, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's Raphael printed in the bottom of the cap there. I thought that was super cool. And then Raxian had also designed on his tube, or her tube, sorry, I don't know, I just assumed Raxian, my bad, these T.G.R.I labels, or there's also T.C.R.I. This is how they initially printed out, and it covered half the tube, which was cool, but I wanted to be able to see more of the glass, so I remixed it to be a flatter T.G.R.I label there. So we will do that and deal with that later on. But the secret of the ooze here that I'm super excited about, I printed out 4 baby glow-in-the-dark turtles that we are going to drop in here. So these were designed by Yahoo Japan on Thingiverse. I printed these at 100%. So let's drop them in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so now we're going to pause, and I need to get my epoxy together. What I've done here, what I did on the other end, is I've got this clear, this is a 3-inch tube, and this is a 3-inch clear disc out of the same material, and it's going to seal that. But the way I did it, I actually glued it into the bottom of the cap here first, and when I pressed it down, it kind of oozed the glue out around it, the epoxy. So then when I put it on, it will have that little seal, so it'll all hold together. There's you know, a fact out there that PLA, being a carbon-based plastic, will deteriorate with moisture or outdoor effects or whatever, and I just wasn't sure how it would hold up here to the ooze being on it permanently. So that's why I wanted to cap it with some more of this plastic. Yeah, that's it. Let's get the epoxy and let's slam this thing together. Okay, got my 2-part epoxy here. I don't know if you guys have ever used this, but it comes in 2 parts because it's really, really good, and it will solidify if the 2 parts are put together. So what we're going to do here, and it's going to take a little bit, and when I say a little bit, a lot, we just squirt it out here onto this little paper plate. And then I like to kind of pull it back up so it's not still oozing out when we put the cap back on. And then I have made a little stir stick out of a straw, and we're gonna stir that up, get it mixed up really well. And once it's mixed, it starts to harden, you know, or cure, or whatever terminology you'd like to use. That's probably pretty good there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start spreading it around the edges inside all the way down at the base here. And then we'll drop this little piece of clear plastic in there. Spread down the corners there. Now I'm a little bit concerned how this is going to work, because I want to put the cap on like this, and I don't want to immediately put the slime on it. I want this to be able to, excuse me, the ooze. I want this to be able to cure really well before the slime, the ooze, touches it. I think it's going to be okay. All right, so here is almost the moment of truth. We're going to drop the little piece of plastic in here just straight down, and it's going to sit right there. And I want to mix a little. I'm going to put a little more around the edges here, just to make sure we get a really nice seal. Okay, here we go. Whew. You nervous? I'm a little nervous, but we're going to be okay. We're going to get through this together. I'm just going to drop it on. And there we go. That's it. We're going to let that dry before we mess with it. So, yeah, we're going to pause here, time out, and we'll be back after a while to put the T.G.R.I label on. Okay, so it's been about 24 hours since I glued the final cap on the end here, and I think the glue dried up pretty well. One thing, I love the way this looks. Let's just start off with that. I'm super happy with it. But the little turtles, they're in there, but they're kind of hard to see. So it might have been better to put a little less slime in, or maybe print the turtles a little bigger. I may do this again sometime in the future. We'll see. Yeah. You can see the turtles in there. I think you can see them anyway. So, yeah, it would have been nice if they stood out just a little bit more, but ooze under the bridge. So we're going to glue on this piece. One thing, I start getting ahead of myself, and I forgot to mention yesterday, and I wished I would have demonstrated it before I glued the final cap on. This is actually the cap as the file was downloaded from Thingiverse, and it's slightly too small to fit onto a 3-inch piece of acrylic tubing. So I had to upsize it a little bit, but rather than print the whole thing out and test it, I actually resliced just the ring here with some PLA that I was throwing out, some black stuff that just wasn't very good. And then I would test fit it over the end, and that's how I got such a nice tight squeeze. It only took 2. And if I think about it, see, Cura works in millimeters instead of inches. In the United States, we still use standard instead of the metric system, so I had to convert the inches to millimeters. Anyway, it was a bit of a hassle, but it was easy. I don't remember off the top of my head what 3 inches converted to or what created this tight fit, but I will check and look it up again, and I will add that in the comments if you're interested in seeing that. So anyway, what we're going to do now, glue the T.G.R.I label on here, and obviously there's a void here, and we have to glue on the R, the hole in the R, separately. So there was some scratches in, there it is. There were some scratches on here that I wanted to cover up with the label. So, and that's I'm gonna try and get the, sorry, I'm trying to get the weight because it doesn't want to stay, that's a little bit better. It wants to roll past the, well, we'll make it work. We will make it work. There we go. Okay, so we still got some epoxy here. We don't need nearly as much as we used yesterday. So I'm just going to mix up just a small batch here. Oh, one more thing I want to mention too. When I did this, I actually, in Cura, looked to make sure the curvature of this fit the same curvature as the end caps. And visually in Cura it worked. It looked perfect. But then when I printed it out, the curve was a little too wide. So all I did was laid this over the acrylic tube here and ran it under some super hot water. I've got one of those instant water heater or water sources in the sink that puts it out at like 180 or 190 degrees, and I just ran it over there, and then I kind of ran the hot water over it and then just kind of fit it around the tube, and it fits perfectly now. So I'm really happy with the way it fits. Got to be really careful now because there's not a whole lot of room for error here. Because if we slide it at all, you'll see glue because of the empty spots where the letters are at. So just got to be a little bit careful of that. I did ahead of time have to glue that center part of the G because it came off, and we're just going to set this right on there like that and let it dry. Oh, and the center part of the R. This one's going to be a little bit trickier because we don't want to. There we go. Oh, I should have brought some tweezers in here for this one. Okay, I am happy with the placement of this. I don't want to lift it up. I want to show it to you guys right away, but I don't want to lift it up until that glue dries. So we're going to take a little time out again, and I'll be back in a minute. Well, it'll be more than a minute, but it'll just be a second for you guys. Okay, so the epoxy is dry. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I like the weight of it. It feels like a canister of ooze. I had mentioned that I wished I would have printed the turtles a little bit bigger, but you know what? I took this in the dark. I was trying to see how well the slime glows in the dark, and it doesn't glow very much, but the turtles really glow within the ooze. So I'm going to take a still shot and insert it here so you guys can see that. Hopefully we can get them back out of the end cap. They're in the end cap over here. I'll try to get them moved to the middle before I take a still shot. But I'm happy with how this turned out. I really, really like it. I may or may not make another one in the future. I don't know. If I do, though, I think I will try making... I'm going to still make the turtles glow in the dark, but I will try making them a little bit bigger and maybe just a little less ooze in the canister. But overall, I'm really happy with this. This could be my most favorite 3D printed project so far. I'm happy with it. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed checking out my process of putting together this ooze canister from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Secret of the Ooze. It's not screen accurate completely, but you know what? It's still cool. I love it. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. Hope you're all doing well, and we'll talk to you real soon. Hey, Rye, you really won a lot of stuff there. What'd that cost?